started writing, just started writing my own songs, and after playing with countless projects that didn't want to take things further, started getting really frustrated. So I started my own project. And I really liked the name Kera the Lesbians. It was actually our first show we played with my old drummer, and it was at this church that had been completely renovated to be an artist space. And it was beautiful. It was like all white. It was gorgeous. And he came up with the name there, Kera the Lesbians, and I liked how ironic it was, considering I just had guys playing with me. So it was just like kind of like a play on words. It's just, yeah.
Just to be creative.
Yeah, but I from experiences with people and just like going to bars or like everyday life, a lot of times I found men would joke and be like, oh, I'm a lesbian too, you know? So it was just like, okay, that's completely insulting. But it was kind of just funny. I had a nice way to get over it. That stigma. Mm-hmm. And also in some of my experiences, I started encountering people that were, that identified as queer, and they just were unsure, and, you know, the whole gender binary is just really bullshit. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very limiting to get into like certain bubbles and categories, you know? So I was just like playing on the words and like playing with sexuality and why these words are so challenging for some people and hard to take in. Yeah. So that's where I got the name from.
Totally. That's so cool. All right, so with the name, do you hope to kind of inspire people who are dealing with, you know, I'm a man, I'm a woman? Are you trying to help and send a message to those people who are struggling with those concepts?
Well, I always still want it to be a joke, but I do feel that especially in the age that we live in now, there is this gender fluidity with everything, that we've been in such a social construct to just be you're male, you're female based on your genitalia, when that's not the case. You could very well have like female genitalia and still identify with a lot of, like, it's so interesting. Sexuality is just so interesting. It's fascinating because we are all different. And I think that we're open to a lot more things than we realize, but it's these words, these kind of like these labels that we put on ourselves that I feel like really restrict us. And some people, you know, unfortunately, it's when it comes to like I find people that are trans to be just completely brave. Like they're the bravest people. They're going. It's so brave. I don't know, and it's really sad that we as a society don't accept it, and they often feel alone. But I support them in that. Like I think that's just, you're changing your whole your whole world, you know. So anyway, I hope that answers.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Okay.
And it is really sad because the suicide rate for that community, the LGBTQ community, is very high.
Yeah.
Especially for transgendered people.
Yeah, it's how does anyone, like, we just live in a world that's very closed-minded, and I know I can be that way too sometimes, and I really try my best to really put myself in someone's shoes, and how, like, no one will ever know, especially in those circumstances, what it's like to feel like completely isolated from society, because no one is really going through the same process that you are, you know.
Yeah.
It's really hard to grasp that. But yeah, it's really sad, you know.
Have you had anyone who is questioning their sexuality tell you, you know, I love your message and I love your band and the concept? Have you had any of that feedback?
I think more than anything, the feedback that I've gotten, and that's kind of just like their own path they're going to take from it. You know, maybe I'm crazy and nobody actually ends up getting that. That's like the goal. But what I do get back is just some really wonderful emails or just conversations with people that go to shows that just feel like they want to create, or they feel that they came in, had such a bad day, and then after seeing the set, it's really brought them out of it. And that means a lot to me, because when I have those moments with music, I get very overwhelmed, start crying, because it's just like one of the most beautiful things. I mean, music is why I got into it. It's such a healing. It's so healing. It's beautiful. I don't know. I love it.
I love how a song can make you feel so many different emotions.
Yeah.
Or it can take you back to a certain memory.
Yeah.
It's just, music's so powerful. How have you mentioned in the form that you submitted that when you came out to your parents you felt rejection and anger. How has music kind of helped you let go and just release all those emotions?
Just, by saying the things that are really hard for me to say sometimes, I do it a lot with music, and really try to, it was easier to write a song around my parents too, because I was immersed in them, and I was constantly like, what do I do with this feeling? I mean, even now, it's still tricky to relate to them. Wait, what was the question? I feel like I just...
How has, breaking through into your music and performing, how has that helped you kind of release, like, the rejection and the anger that you felt going through that in your life? Like,
well,
how
just because
has it helped?
it's been very free for me, especially when it comes to performing, and it's just like a free space. I know that I still have a lot of issues that I have to like discover and go through and get past, especially now that I do harbor still a lot of resentment from my past, which I realize kind of comes out like a little green monster at weird times. So I realize that I do that, and I still have a lot to work on, but it is really nice when you do get those songs out that are just completely true and genuine, and they just like come out, and it's a healing process. It's only momentary. Like anything is momentary. You're not going to be completely happy all the time. It's always going to get dark, but it's how you get past the hurdles. In my opinion, music happens to be one of them, but then it still goes to dark. Like I'm still upset after a certain time. It doesn't go anywhere. It just goes somewhere for a moment, and I'm like proud of it, and I'll keep playing it. It always helps, but it's still always there, Yeah.
You mentioned that it still sits on the top right corner of your heart, that it never really goes away.
Well, it's like a physical pain now, like where my heart physically, just like it hurts sometimes. It's weird. It's like it's like an actual pain.
Wow.
From leaving. It's weird. I don't know.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
Feel it in your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say the physical pain is worse than the emotional pain, or would you say kind of equal?
They're kind of equal. I think it's realizing what, like that's the start of it, is like the feeling, and then realizing why. And I don't know.
Realizing why you feel
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you're like up on stage and you're seeing something really powerful and emotional that really hits home with you?
I start crying. if it's a song that I can like put myself into the moment, or like allow myself to open up to people while playing, really looking into the eyes of everyone and just like exposing myself, it's wonderful. It really is. It's, I feel that we are connected at one moment. I don't know.
lock eyes with someone in the audience and you're crying on stage?
That doesn't happen often.
It doesn't?
It doesn't happen often, no. Yeah, I don't, I'm not a crier. But when it does happen, it's like it feels good. It's like, nice.
Like a purge, an emotional release.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like the lyrics still stand by what's kind of like relevant, like what's going on, you know?
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that when you perform snakes on stage?
Somewhat. I mean, not. I think it just depends on the context of which I use it. I wrote it for my best friend. He plays in the band. Mm-hmm. He's the drummer. It's just me and him. I wrote it for him. So since we're, really closer than ever at the time that I wrote it, like it was about losing him as a friend. Because I was an idiot. And he's been a very forgiving individual and like one of the best. He's like my family. He's really the only family that I have. So it's hard, like I think now more than anything, Snakes is just, I don't know. It's one of those songs that I just kind of sing it with as much passion and gusto as I can, It's kind of just, we're good. So,
yeah. That's so cool. How did you feel knowing that, like you wrote?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how he feels about it. I know he loves the song, but I don't know, I guess I've never asked him. But I told him I was, like every time I played, I'm like, this one's for you, dude. I don't know, whatever. It's so cheesy.
Awesome.
But, yeah.
So he was the main inspiration behind.
Oh, he, because of what had happened, it's just, that song came to me in like a day. Just everything wrote itself.
What exactly happened? Could you like go into
I just was at my friend Daniel's place, and I was really like just, I was talking with him about it and how much it like was upsetting me that I feel like I was really lost like someone that's very important in my life, because I was like inconsiderate, and I was just walking. I don't remember. I just remember humming out this tune and being like, I like this. And then I went home and it's just all the lyrics and everything kind of just like came. It was really
a very natural process.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing forced, just.
I wish it was always like that. Yeah, that one just came together so wonderfully.
How did you feel after creating that product?
So proud. Every song I've written I'm so proud of it. Like, that one in particular too.
The music video is very interesting.
Michael made it, yeah.
He did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You laying on the table, and then they have like that thing around your neck, and then it looks like you're in a church with like the man like yelling, and you're like breaking down.
Well, it's supposed to be, the beginning scene is it's like this laboratory, mm-hmm. and what he's putting on me is supposed to go into like my dreams and my subconscious of like sins that I have that I'm trying to release, mm-hmm. and trying to purge, and then that's when it goes into like being a different character in like a church, or it all ties together. It was a beautiful music video. I was so proud of him for it. He took, we went to this big German expressionism vibe, like inspired by that. And it was such a fun process. That was the best music video, and like the collaboration that we did and the people that we worked with, it was so wonderful.
I really liked it.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Did you, can you explain a little more about you trying to purge your sins in the video?
Like skeletons in the closet. Like I had to, pretty much my skeleton in the closet was what got in the way of me and Michael. Mm-hmm. And I had to tell him. And then when I told him, I almost lost him as a friend. So it's just that idea of like having like these, skeletons in the closet that we don't want to come out. And because we're scared of the reaction of what's going to happen, the consequences of our mistakes. So that was pretty much it, like in one of the scenes I steal a baby.
Yeah.
So that's one of them, I didn't actually steal a baby. I love kids. That's my little goddaughter. But no, I have never actually, wait. But it was based around that, like what kind of different sins could we get? Imagery, whatever.
So the symbolism in that video, were those your ideas, or was it more of a collaboration?
No, Michael.
It was all him.
Yeah, he's a very beautiful human being.
Oh my gosh.
Like I like where his head goes. He's got a good one.
I wanted to ask you about some of the lyrics in the song. One of the lines you say, "I feel sadness deep inside me, in every corner of the brain. It seems you play to feast."
No, it seems to plague, to feast, to snack on all the fear that I create.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Like the sadness that I feel, it's like, shit. It has a meaning. It's just, I guess it's based up to your perception of it. I mean, you know, I'm my worst enemy a lot of the time. So.
It's like you can't escape yourself.
No.
No matter what.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like, especially at that time, it was like fear that I felt was holding me back in a lot of ways. And fear that I needed to get over and be okay with the uncertainty of like the future and things that I can't control, which like can make me sad, you know? I don't know. But yeah, just.
So are you speaking to yourself when you say you?
In that context, yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's totally like transcending, like that's just so unique. But it's a song for him, but you're also kind of speaking to yourself. Like that little duality there. That's cool.
I do that a lot, I think. Because it's like, how can you, without getting to yourself, how can you help others, you know? If you're not going to be honest with yourself, maybe you'll have nobody cling on to that like idea. But I like to think that, you know, there's some things that we can kind of we have in common with each other. I don't know. I like that it's ominous too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't really.
Really love yourself before you can love and help other people.
Exactly. Exactly. You said it way better than I did.
And then another line I wanted to ask you about, which I really loved and wanted to just kind of hear your take on it when you were writing it. "I really hate to be a phony whose own reality ain't true. I want listeners, not just friends."
Especially living in LA, you can have a lot of people that are your friends. But I want people to listen. I want to listen too. I want to build a friendship where it's like also a family. You know, I think I'm always consistently looking for family with it. And it's hard to find people that just genuinely like want to listen and care. I know that they're not my therapist, or like they're not somebody I should be like, but it's nice to have a friend, you know? Like I feel like that right there is a deeper meaning of the word friend. It's not just like, let's hang out. It's more than that, you know? Like someone who cares about you. That's hard to find. You know, with Michael, I can tell him anything, and he can really pull me out of like a sinkhole and just charge me up positively, that I just move forward, you know? I sulk a little bit, yeah, but sometimes that's all you want, just to sulk a little bit and then have somebody to listen. Like I don't have that with my mom, you know, or my dad. They just kind of like, oh, okay, well, I'll talk to you soon. You know, it's like, okay, great.
Nothing deep or...
Nothing deep, you know?
Yeah.
So it can be really frustrating, you know?
It can be, yeah, because you want to pour your heart and soul out sometimes.
Okay, yeah, you just want to be vulnerable to some people. You know, appear vulnerable, and for them to get to know you.
In a way, too, your audience they're like your listeners, because they're hearing your lyrics and what's on your heart. It's like they're listening too. And you're pouring your heart out to them.
Yeah.
Crowd, you know, when you're on stage.
Yeah.
People watching your videos, anyone listening to your song on the radio, they're listening to you as well. So
Yeah.
I see it. I think that's cool.
Yeah. There's very few of them, I'd say like November and Green. But I've stopped writing about that. On the newest record, I have this song called Olive, but I wrote it about this woman. It was like she was like the love of my life, and we both really loved each other, but we just weren't compatible with one another. And that was a really heartbreaking kind of song, and that was my way of kind of releasing that feeling and just kind of coming to terms with everything, you know. Yeah, I guess a lot of the stuff on the older record, like Walls of Giza, is one. Like the happier tunes, I think, are probably like love songs, I think. I'm pretty sure. Because I wrote them when I was like a little, like, younger. So that was my life, you know. Now I'm just, you know, it's bullshit. I wrote this newer song on Monday that's just about falling in love with myself. Not like that I'm in love with myself. It's just in the context of coming to the resolution of like the being okay with being alone and like loneliness, and that like loneliness will come from solitude, but when you can really just be stoked with your own company, it's the best feeling.
It really is, because you don't have to please anyone around you.
Yeah, and that one too is it's very vague because it's this kind of current relationship that I have with someone right now that we've known each other for so long, and it's a song about like where I'm singing it to myself and singing it to her, and it's all kind of charged with this realization. It's just like, you know, I love.
I'm hearing that some of your songs are kind of like you're speaking to yourself, but simultaneously you're speaking to someone else close to you that you love deeply. I find that interesting. Do you notice that? Is that the intention when you embark on, you know, writing lyrics?
It makes the process easier and gives a mystery to it that makes it unique, you know. I guess I really just never thought about it enough to. I just never really thought about it. Maybe I don't say the things. I feel like with a song I can say the things that I want to say. I feel misunderstood a lot of the time. Like, you know.
Why do you feel misunderstood?
I think it's just, I don't want to say like, I'm a Gemini, so I'm just kind of all over the place. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's why I always call their music bipolar folk, is just, you never know what kind of version of Kera is going to come out, you know, on that day. So it's some days it's manic, some days it's really interesting. I'm still trying to learn. Like,
whatever's most natural for you, just kind of.
Yeah, I just kind of go with the day, you know. But I have to exist in this world, so it doesn't really work.
Do you ever feel a conflict between like yourself and society, like, you know, how society is with?
Oh, absolutely, every day.
Yeah.
I never really felt and feel very happy with not considering myself along with society, though. I've kind of just done my own thing my whole life, so. But I would like to know but I would really not just like make myself an outlier. I do want to get to know people, and because I love people. I love conversation. You know? Yeah. I do. I just don't like bullshit. You know? I have no time for it.
No tolerance.
Just be real with me.
Yeah.
None of that bullshit, you know? Yeah.
So, yeah, you mentioned that you don't really realize that when you are writing these lyrics that you're speaking to yourself and to someone else close to you. Do you realize it after the fact?
Well, I definitely know that I'm writing it to myself too. It's just a way of like kind of my process of letting go and realizing that, okay, that's in the past. How can I move forward from this? Yeah, it's just songwriting has always been my way of like just understanding what happened, in this way and like forgiving the situation and moving past it. So I want listeners, not just friends, a balding doctor to make amends for all the pain buried deep inside. I'm good at hiding all to save my pride. All these trials, all these changes, force in my life, some rearranging. 'Cause I see spots stuck, I feel bubbles stuck aloud at times. I tend to mumble, he wants space and he wants time. I see snakes as my disgrace is late in the night while I lay asleep and promise I won't cry. The day I dreaded, apologize, see there I said it. He wants space and he wants time, a breath of air to clear the mind. Can anyone find him as he try to settle down? Your attention, please. I like that key a lot. I usually put it up here, so it's like way higher. Oof. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for playing. That was so good.
Happy to.
What's your favorite song to play?
I do like Year 23 a lot. I do like that one. It's just so fun to play. I like the melody. I like how it pops, bounces. Yeah, that one's one of my favorites though, always.
Would you say this song was kind of like kind of helped mend your relationship with him? Because you wrote it for him.
Slightly. I mean, I really had to learn a lot. I wasn't guaranteed that I was actually going to be his friend anymore. Like, that was not guaranteed. But what came from it, it's like, I hate to use this word lightly, but it acted as a muse in a sense, you know? Not that I'm trying to use this person for this song, but that was the only way that I've known to like release that. So whether he liked it or not, it was just like, well, I screwed this up. So this is the last line too, was just me being hard on myself, like saying goodbye to someone and ultimately being okay with, like, trying to be okay with them not having any regret of not knowing me anymore. Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit more about like the love loss you experienced and felt when you were going through that tough time with him, like personally?
I don't even know. Like, there was just a lot of times where I started dabbling into, stuff to like numb myself, but realizing that it doesn't go anywhere. It just numbs it. You have to like deal with it, because if you don't, like, you have to deal with it at some point. Numbing it does nothing. It's always going to be there. It sucks. But yeah.
Would you say the music numbs you?
Oh no.
No.
No. The music doesn't numb it, just it articulates it better than I can say it sometimes.
Powerful.
That's what it is.
The beauty of music.
I love it. I love it a lot.
Would you say music is your therapy?
I think so, yeah. I don't know how people function if you don't have an artistic creative outlet. I don't know how people do it. Especially if you can't even show expression or feeling, and especially in today's modern day and age where the art of communication is lost. And people are, I don't know, it's just, we live in a very scary time in the world right now, and it just seems to be like building and building and building to like what's going to happen, So all I can do is just write it, hopefully with my music, help in any way that I can, in any way to help release that, inspire someone. And just, if you're 27, if you're 30, it's never too late to pick up.
How when you came out, you know, being so brave, how did that affect your music? How did
I just kind of got over, like, caring what other people thought, you know? And I've always wanted to play in a band or have a band, write my own music, so it was like effortless. You know, the hardest part was just coming out to your parents, you know?
Yeah. Were they the hardest people to tell out of everyone in your life?
Oh, I knew that they weren't going to be happy with it.
Yeah.
They're like Christian.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my mom still has some really good one-liners now. Like, had some really good ones that I'll like never forget her saying. But she's a kind woman. She really is. Even now, she's done a lot on her end, but still is just like not considerate. In the context of like, if I bring someone around, she's like, "Oh, is your friend coming?" It's like, we're not really friends. So how about we, you know, kind of watch what we're saying to each other. Yeah. I don't know.
Do you just kind of shut it out and tell yourself?
I can't. No, I'm like the type of person that I confront shit, you know, like even if it's my mom, I don't see the point of having parents if you can't be open with them. And it really does, it has a very negative impression on my life, more than I realize when I go see them. And that lack of communication or willing to be open and like surrender and tell me things, you know, like I can't even get that from my goddamn parents. It's like, you're my parents. I just want to know you. I just want to feel like close, you know, connected. Yeah. So that's always really challenging, going there, because I do voice. I've always been, I'll always say what's on my mind, you know, the tricky one out of all my siblings.
And you have no regrets?
Absolutely not. I'm very happy with the risk, and I'm continuing to take risks daily and to do what I love to do. And that's where me and my parents don't really line up eye to eye, like 9-to-5ers. My dad was a Marine. He's just like, you know, kind of the life that we're all programmed to live. I'm not going to do that.
You broke off and said, I'm doing music.
Yeah. I've been able to do it more full time. So, been able to play with more people, getting a tour, just really living, you know, because that's, at the end of the day, life's too short, you know, and I want to get as much as I can, especially while I'm young. Especially while I'm just like still just excited about everything. Not even young has anything to do with it, just excited, curious, willing to take a risk, you know, like as long as I have that, like I want to keep going.
It's very brave of you because, you know, for a lot of people who do want to come out, their parents are the last person.
But it's so freeing though after you do it. It's the best. It's so, it almost feels like prison if you just set to the standards of others, where they don't even know what the hell they want, you know? So once you start making decisions that are better for you and what's going to benefit you as a person, it just changes everything, you know?
It's very inspiring to your fans, I'm sure.
I hope. I mean, I just do what's genuine for me, and then if it catches with one person, great, you know? I have had people tell me that it's helped them, so that's always really nice. I just gotta keep doing that, but can't help others if you can't help yourself, you know? So.
And I'm sure you love, you know, hearing that really positive feedback.
Yeah, I do, because that's the reason why I got into music. So it's always just, it's wonderful to hear. I don't care about money. I just love because that's what this world needs, you know? It's crazy out there, I know. It's so crazy.
Don't you just wish everyone could be their true, real, authentic selves 24/7?
Not 24/7, but sometimes, like, I understand that you need space and you need time to like do your own thing, but it would be nice to have like real, authentic relationships with people, or feel like this is a genuine connection that we're having.
has music helped you to like tap into your emotions and understand yourself better?
Well, if I'm listening to myself and I play something that I like, I'm like, ah, shit, nice, Kera. I can like kind of boost myself up, and then I don't know if I'd really take some time to, with the whole process of writing a song, it's always really healing. Like the whole process is really healing. And if I can be honest with myself through the lyrics and really tell like what's going on in myself, then that's usually another like added bonus. It's just, you have to just be very honest and also just kind of let it happen.
It's a very vulnerable process, I feel like.
Yeah, but it's a good one. I'm lucky I have it. I'm very lucky I have it.
You're very lucky to have that talent. Because a lot of people probably, wish they could create music.
True.
Maybe they're just scared to put that out there.
Yeah, I think so. I think anybody can do it.
Is there anything in particular you'd like to let go of in your life?
Resentment. And resentment.
Through and through. Resentment through and through. And also, last question. What is your ultimate definition of love? It's kind of a tough question.
Love is very self-sacrificing. Love is understanding that I like the quote that's like, if you love a flower, do not pick it, for it ceases to become something that you love. If you love a flower, let it be. I just love that quote. I butchered it, but loving something sometimes means that you can't have it. But you can always still show love for it no matter what, even if that person doesn't care about you, and understanding that of itself is powerful. Yeah.
So letting that flower grow, letting that person grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Selfish.
Not being possessive at all. Love's not about possession, of something, and that's a really hard thing to realize, Yeah. I'm feeling that particularly lately.
That's great.
Yeah.